In this video, we are going to install and configure Windows deployment services on Windows Server 2016. I'm logged on my WDS server, so this is a new server that I installed specially for this role. And to install WDS or Windows deployment services, first we need to, of course, install the actual role with the first command from this file. And the code that you see here can be downloaded from my GitHub repository, which is linked in the video description. With the role installed, we also get a module for PowerShell that has a couple of commands which will help us do a couple of the tasks through PowerShell. Unfortunately, not everything will be done with PowerShell, as not everything can be done with PowerShell or with command line. So with the role installed, we also have to initialize WDS because there are some settings that need to be done. And the basic initialization just means to configure WDS to use a specific folder from our file system. I will choose the C drive and this folder. And once this command is done, this folder will be populated with WDS files. You can ignore all these warnings as long as the command completed successfully is the last thing you see. It means that it worked. And once this is done, you can go to Windows Administrative Templates and you will see Windows Deployment Services sitting ready for you to open it. And in servers, you find our WDS01 server that I just configured, and you can see a couple of things. First, let's go to properties because we still have some stuff to set. For example, we need to let it respond to clients so we can actually install them. We also, in case you want to do it, I will want to place all of the objects that I install in a special OU that we have in servers. So they are placed directly here. And I want also the newly installed servers to use a specific name template. I want all of them to start with the name SRV and then have a number like SRV1, SRV2, SRV3 and so on. And this 3 here means that we can have servers up to SRV 999. So 3 characters of the type number. The last thing that I want to set is also to enable logging in the event viewer. And with the WDS util command and the manual steps, this was it for configuring WDS. Next, we need to do 2 extra things. In order for WDS to work, we need a boot image. This is the image that you would use also from the Windows installation DVD to give you the basic tools that will permit you to format a hard disk and place an operating system on it. And this we will be able to get from the installation DVD. And we also need to import install images, which is actually an image that represents the operating system. So we would need, for example, to import an image for Windows Server 2016 standard core if we wanted to install a server core standard edition. And both of these are found on the installation media, and I will show you right now how to do it. Now to import a install image, first let's create an image group for the image to be placed in. And once the image group is created, and next I placed here 2 commands that are used to import install images. But before we use them, I want to show you how I got this name. So how do I know that the image is called exactly Windows Server 2016 Server Standard Core, for example? And this is very simple. First, I want to show you that my DVD of the Windows installation is in drive D. And in that DVD we have the install image, which we can see properties of. With image path, we give it the path to the DVD, then the folder sources, and then install.wim, which is the image. And this command will show us that we have 4 operating systems in this image, and the name that you see here is the name that you can put in our WDS commands. So with this out of the way, I will import in WDS server standard and server standard core. So run each of these commands, and this will take maybe 1 to 3 minutes, it depends, because it has to copy the image from the DVD to the local hard disk of the server. And it's done for core, and we have to also do it for the other one. Also done. And let's also import a boot image. The boot image is found also in the sources, and it's called boot.wim. This one is small, so it will not take too much time. And this one is also done. So in the graphical interface, if we take now a look and refresh, I guess refresh the entire server view, we will see the following thing: the group that we created and the 2 images under that group, and the boot image that we just imported. So with this done, the installation and configuration part is finished, and I want also to test it so you see if it works or not. Let's go to the Hyper-V server and try to create a new virtual machine, then install it from the network. Let's create a new VM. And since we are creating a new one, why not use it in the next video? So I will name it appropriately. So I'm guessing you found out what the next video will be about. Spoiler alert, but I guess I'm too late for a spoiler alert since I showed you already. And in the installation part, let's choose that we want to install it from the network. Create the VM. Of course, like I like to do, I like to make some extra settings. For the memory, for WSUS, I want 4 GB of RAM. Even though it's a test server, it still needs a little more RAM than a normal VM. 2 processors, guest services, I don't want checkpoints. This can be nothing, and this can be the last option. So then let's boot the VM and see if the network boot actually works. So you see starting PXE over IPv4, and the server responded. Now it should boot into our image. In this moment, it's loading the boot image that we imported, the boot.wim. And you will see there are slight differences between when installing over the network and from the DVD directly. You see, this is the first screen. We can click next, and now we have to authenticate with a user that has rights on the rem-inst folder that we created during the WDS installation. I will use directly my domain account, but of course in a normal productive environment don't do that. Never use the domain account for anything other than very important domain controller tasks. Click OK, and you see that it found our two images. I want to install the standard with a graphical interface for WSAS. Click Next, and the next part is basically the same as you would see from a DVD installation. The next screen with which we have to interact will be the one that prompts us to change the password. And after the server installs and restarts itself, we are greeted with this screen, and the language and locale settings are fine with me, so I will click Next. I will click Accept, and this is the screen that you would see also when you install the server from the DVD. And the server is done. Let's quickly log on and check that so you see it actually is placed in the domain, and if I type administrator, it should switch to the server name and it should be SRV1. And you see the name is SRV1, so the naming scheme also worked. So that was it for installing and configuring WDS. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and also share it. Consider also subscribing to get notified when I upload new videos, and thanks a lot for watching.